Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live at 5. It is May 1st, May Day.
Tuesday, May 1st. That's
Tony
right.
Nomination Day. I'm Beth Stevens.
And I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And we are here in the studio with Mr. Matt Roden.
Hi, everybody. That's me.
And we have a wonderful guest today.
We do. Chilina Kennedy is here with us. A beautiful
I can
guest.
feel the earth move under my feet.
Somebody had to say it.
I had to, right? I had to do it.
But
Yes.
first, we have our top 5.
Okie dokie. So this morning, like we just said, Tony nominations. It was an early one, but some interesting stuff. You guys came on earlier and talked and did like a whole thing, so you don't have to dive in now. But anything exciting, Ryan?
I mean, the big news is 2 new musicals, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Broadway musical, and Mean Girls, leading the pack with 12 nominations apiece. That's a nice haul for both of those great shows.
A haul, I love it.
A haul. Following just behind are the revival of Tony Kushner's Angels in America, the new musical, The Band's Visit, which I know, Beth, you are a big fan of. Yes, and a new staging of Carousel from Jack O'Brien. Each earned 11 nominations apiece, following just behind. The 72nd Annual Tony Awards, hosted by Sarah Bareilles and Josh Groban, will happen on June 10th at Radio City Music Hall on CBS. We're very excited.
We will be there.
But yeah, you're all nominees now. Nominees, and they get to have their brunch tomorrow, which is so
Tony,
exciting.
meet the
Tony.
nominees,
They get
press
their
junket.
pins. They get their little pin
They do
that
get their
only
pins.
they get. You only
Yes.
get one if you're a nominee.
But we get to talk to them.
And then
that's
you
fun.
get to chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
There's also some special Tony Awards going out this year. We found out this morning, Beth.
You know what? This was not. There was one that wasn't a surprise, and there was one that was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So, music legend Bruce Springsteen, who is on Broadway. Haven't seen that yet,
I have not either.
but I'd love to.
I would
It's
love
just really
to.
hard to
So
get a
hard to
ticket.
get a
People
ticket.
love
Hard to
it.
get
Yeah.
tickets. So he's getting a special Tony and John Leguizamo.
This is super cool.
Which
Yeah.
was the more of the surprising one. John Leguizamo had Latin History for Morons at Studio 54. And he's been around for a long time.
Right.
His first nomination was for Freak back in the day. And
That's
he will
right.
get a special Tony and also was nominated
For
for
Best
Best
Play.
Play.
I was gonna say,
Super
so
cool.
has he been nominated in the past? Like, Freak was nominated for Best Play, or was he nominated for like Best Actor?
He was nominated. It was nominated for Best Play, but he wrote it, so he got the nomination as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We have performance photos from Boys in the Band from last night.
Yes. So the boys and the band are on Broadway right now at the
Nice,
booth.
nice.
Thank you. Incredible cast doing the Boys in the Band at the Booth Theater. They had their very first preview last night. Emilio Madrid-Cuser, our photographer, went and took gorgeous black and white photographs of those guys: Matt Bomer, Andrew Reynolds, Robin DeJesus, Jim Parsons, Zach Quinto, Charlie
Benjamin
Carver,
Washington.
Michael Benjamin Washington.
All the
Huge,
guys.
amazing cast. It opens on the very last day of this month, May 31st, at the booth. But go check out those photos, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing lots and lots about it.
yeah.
J. Harrison G., who we know and love, who I think has been on Live and Vibe at some point, is back in Kinky Boots tonight, Beth.
I like how this says J. Harrison G. back in the Kinky Boots.
He's back in the Kinky Boots.
He's back
He
in the
is.
boots. So J. Harrison G. Wonderful performer, back in the boots, and that's,
He's been in Jersey.
Yeah, he has been in Jersey. He's been in the Sting at Paper Mill Playhouse. Thanks for
That's
reminding
right.
me. So that's exciting over there at the Al Hirschfeld Theater.
And the last thing we have, so there was a poll this morning, right? We did a poll this morning after nominations came out.
Yes.
Snub Poll.
So, right. The big exciting news of the day is, of course, all these people that wonderful things and people that get Tony nominations. But, unfortunately, when you have so many great things and so many wonderful people get left out. You know, they don't get the
It's
nomination.
a bummer, but it happens.
Right. And luckily, you have things like the Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards that helped correct some of these things. That's all
right.
on you.
So what Paul and I said this morning, if you watch that live video, we said vent with the snub poll, then go vote, and you get to be the nominators.
Absolutely. You get to pick your favorites. But some of the ones that came out on top, Alex Newell, not nominated for Once on This Island. I know we were all excited.
Bummer,
a lot of us were
really.
excited for him. Casey Levy and Patty Murin of Frozen are number 2 and number 3. Didn't receive nominations. Barrett Wilbert Weed of Mean Girls and Lea Salonga of Once on This Island. Those were your top 5 snubs of this Tony season. It's hard.
It is.
Yeah, like it's, there's
You
so
really
many
brought us
things.
down, Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love ending on a down note. It's really.
So on that note, I'm going to say thank you for your service, Ryan.
My pleasure.
Matt, will you tell us about Miss Kennedy, please?
I would love to. Chilina is
Ryan.
currently starring as Carole King in the musical Beautiful on Broadway. She's also a singer-songwriter with a debut album, What You Find in a Bottle. Her last appearance on Broadway was in 2012 when she played Mary Magdalene in Des McAnuff's Jesus Christ Superstar, which also had successful runs at the Stratford Festival of Canada and La Jolla Playhouse. She just surpassed 1,000 performances as Carole King. That's quite a feat, and that's what she's here to talk about today. If you have questions for Chilina, and I know that you do, leave them in the comment section below, and we'll get to as many as we possibly can. And now, here is Beth and Chilina.
Thank you for that dramatic pause,
I love
Matt.
dramatic
We
pause,
love that.
yeah.
Hi, Chilina.
Hi.
Thank you for coming in. It's so great to talk to someone who was just already in her show and not stressed this morning.
Oh
Did you
my
sleep
gosh.
in and have a nice morning?
You know what? Honestly, no. I was shooting a film all night, and we ended at 3 a.m.
Wow.
And
Well,
so
but you're working, and that's good news.
absolutely.
Do you want to tell us about your film before we talk about Beautiful?
Well, it's exciting. It's a short, but we hope that it's going to be a feature, and it's about a couple and their incredibly romantic and also painful journey.
Well,
In a
if
nutshell.
that doesn't kind
Gorge.
of, and that kind of explains Beautiful as well. So it's like a double thing. How's it going over there at the
Oh, it's
Stephen Sondheim
incredible.
Theater?
It's amazing. Yeah, I feel so blessed.
You have been doing this for how many years now?
This is my, I
Is it your
think
fourth
I've done
year?
3 years, and this is my 4th. Yeah, with a little pause in the middle,
Pause,
to go
but
away.
that is amazing to have the endurance and the stamina to do this show night after night. Tell me what it's like for you. And I know you say it's like in your bones now, right?
It is. It's in my bones, and I sort of think of it like, any kind of meditation or yoga practice, right? You go back to the mat, and it's the same poses, but you're a different person every day, and the people who are around you are different, and our cast changes occasionally, and we get, we have wonderful energy always coming into our building. So I love to remember that the people who come to see the show, it's their first time usually coming to see the
Right,
show. It
of
could be a very
course.
special occasion. It could be an anniversary or a wedding gift, or I don't know, a birthday. It could be whatever for people who are coming in. And so, and I also love seeing like the kids' faces out there, and maybe it's their first Broadway show. So that gives me,
special.
yeah, it gives me.
I was just thinking, we are in the Brill Building. That's where Broadway.com is. And, of course, Beautiful takes place partly at the Brill Building, partly at 1650 Broadway, which is across the street. But this is your place. And actually, in our lobby, there's a big image of Carole King writing, that very famous picture of her writing.
yeah, that's right. In fact, I was thinking about that walking in today. I was thinking how iconic this place is.
Do you feel the ghosts?
Oh, I do. I felt it moving through me as I walked in the
I'm
room.
not sure. I feel like they're around.
They're haunting.
They're
They're
haunting
everywhere.
us.
They're everywhere.
haunting us.
Oh, yeah.
So these songs are so. First of all, they do speak to a whole generation of people, but they also get in your head. Do you feel like you're listening and feeling this music outside of the theater? Are you able to let it
especially
go?
well, when I was learning the show, that was the time when I could not get. I think It's Too Late was in there for a solid, I think it was 5 days, and eventually everyone around me was like, "You need to stop. You have to stop this." I mean, it's a great song, but you got to pick something else.
But now you
Yeah,
can just
but
let
no,
it,
I
leave it
love
at the
it.
stage door.
Well, and I've been doing it for a while now, so they don't become brainworms. Is that what you call? No, earworms.
earworms.
Earworms. Sorry, I
I don't know
always
what
get my.
brainworms are, but I think it sounds kind of gross. I need to ask you,
Yes.
did you watch Jesus Christ Superstar?
I did
on Easter.
and I had a great time.
I was thinking about you.
I loved how they used the audience.
This was a concert
and-
version, very different from what you guys did. but-
Absolutely. It was so cool. And I just love that show. I love the music. Thought it was, the performances were beautiful.
That's awesome. And I also
Yeah.
noticed you went to the opening night of Escape to Margaritaville to see your former co-star, Paul Alexander Nolan.
Yeah, and the whole
Was that
cast.
fun?
Well, it was yes, I had a very, very good time.
It's
Yeah,
nice to see former
absolutely.
co-stars supporting each
Oh,
other
of
like
course.
that.
And I think it's important because we're all in it together. We're a big team out there. We're a family. So it's important to remember that.
Plus, Canadians, they walk among us. It's really funny because he's always like wearing a hockey shirt, right?
Always.
But he has to get like a spray tan. Because Chilina is Canadian. Did you get what I was talking about?
Right?
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I know we have a million questions.
Yeah, there are some things.
Okay.
There's some things.
Oh, my goodness.
Now here we
I'm
go.
ready.
Are you ready?
So,
Shoot.
David wanted to know, starting out easy, any special memories from doing Lord of the Rings?
Oh,
the
so
biggest
many.
show of all time.
Can I tell you one that's real?
tell us
I
all.
tell everybody all the time. So I was wearing these sort of stilt shoes, which made me 6'1" as an elf, which I thought was incredibly
And
exciting.
how tall are you in real life?
In real life, I'm about 5'3", between 5'3" and 5'4" on a good day. So I was eye to eye with like all these men, and I was walking around like I was, this blonde sort of, I don't know, I felt like a goddess. It was unbelievable. But anyway, I had to go in one day for somebody who was sick. There weren't enough swings to cover. a 55-person cast. And I had to be a flame bearer and find my little hole in the floor and put the flame, like the live flame torch, in the floor. And I'd never rehearsed this before.
Were you wearing the stilts while you were
I was wearing
doing
the stilts, and I was wearing this cape. I don't know how they thought I was going to do this with smoke and like on a rake, and it was revolving, and I couldn't see anything.
The definition of fire hazard.
But what happened was I didn't end up getting, I looked for about 30 seconds, which felt like an eternity, of course, when you're on the stage. I couldn't find the hole, so I just abandoned. I was like, abort, I'm going up stage, and I'm carrying it into the wings.
I'm taking it to my dressing room.
And I literally, like, as I think I was taking a little step up on the revolve, and my shoe, lift stilt thing, hit the thing, and I went slow motion tumble, and everyone was like, no! And people went to go grab me, the whole audience went, but I got rescued.
You didn't burn down the theater.
I got rescued. I didn't burn down the theater, and I made it off stage.
That was the most terrifying story to listen to I've ever
heard
in terms of on-stage mishaps.
And stilts.
And stilts.
I'm not
stilts
about
and
it.
fire.
Caitlin wants to know. She said, describe your perfect one fine day.
Oh, that's a good question.
One fine day? Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, I have to say spending time with my son is a big one.
Little Henry.
Yes, little
How
baby
old is
Henry.
he?
He's 3.5.
Awesome.
He's going to go to school next year. I can't believe it.
Delicious.
But a sunny day like today, spending time with my kid, with the people closest to me, a day in the park. I mean, having work. I had the most incredible job. I just shot a film. I mean, I feel like I couldn't be luckier.
You're having your one fine day right now.
I feel like I'm
At
constantly
Broadway.com.
At Broadway.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Wendy said, she goes, were you surprised by any part of Carole King's life and career while learning the part?
I was surprised by almost all of it.
Really?
I was surprised that, about her marriages, her personal life, her kids. How
There
many
were some
number
songs
one?
you didn't know that she wrote.
Her number one songs are unbelievable. I had no idea she wrote some of the stuff she did.
I feel like people know Tapestry, and then they're like, "Wait, she wrote that also?"
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
Some deep cuts.
Legendary.
Ooh, deep cuts.
Have you met Carole? You've met Carole King.
Oh, you met Carole King.
I have
Okay.
several times. Yes. she's
David said,
incredible.
describe her in 3 words.
3 words.
Wow.
Generous is my number one
that's nice.
word. She's generous. She's gracious, and she's warm. Those are probably
Those are some good
top
words.
3 words.
Is she emotional? I feel like she might be emotional. Did you have tears when you saw each other?
She is. Yeah, she is emotional. We've shared a few emotional moments. She's been quite
I mean,
amazing.
she took some
Very
time to
open.
see the show when it first opened. She
Yeah.
stepped back from it a little bit because I think she was nervous. But
I
now
would
she's very
imagine.
supportive.
I mean, I would be nervous too if my life was on stage. I mean, my goodness.
Woof. Nikki wants to know, what's it like to play a character inspired by a living person?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
she
it
can,
was
text you afterward.
Well, also like the responsibility. I'm a fan. I want to do her justice. So, especially when I was learning the part and I was coming into it, I felt like there was a lot of expectation and a lot of expectation that I put on myself. But now that I'm doing it, I really feel like I know the ways into her. So I feel a lot more confident now that I've been playing it for 1,000 performances.
How is her voice different from your voice?
Well, it's quite different actually. When I was classically trained. This is a lot of people don't know that about me, but I was a soprano for most of my life.
Really?
So I mean, like Gentleman's Guide, I played Phoebe in Hartford. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I played Maria in West Side Story, Mary Poppins, all these characters that are very, legit and up there. And so when I literally come from playing Mary Poppins when I was learning Carole, and I was like, oh, that's an adjustment. That is definitely gonna move that
She
whole
has
thing
a raspier
down.
voice.
Raspier voice. It's raw. It's rock and roll. It's the voice I've always that's the kind of singing I've always wanted to do, but I just never really. I always did like pop musicals, but I
Yeah.
never quite went into that territory. So this is fun.
That's awesome.
Did it
I
take
like
time
it.
to figure out where how to sustain that 8 times a week, or is it
Definitely.
okay? It's not like an easy sing.
No, you don't just flip it. That took a little while. And also I think I sang it a little too cleanly at the beginning for my taste. Like I really wanted to dirty it up. So when I started rehearsing, I really found ways to make it healthily
Right, not smoking.
messy and not give myself nodes.
Elise wants to know, if there was a musical that was based on your life, what would it be called, And who would you want to compose the music?
That's a very deep question, Elise.
Do you know what's hilarious that we're talking about this? Because I'm also I'm working on a project that's very personal to myself and my life, and it's a musical that's not based on my life, but
you are a writer also.
Inspired by,
but it's not quite. So I guess
the source material.
If I were, and it's funny because somebody said, "Oh, this is the musical that's based on your life," and I said, "No, let's not go there. This is just sort of inspired by certain events, but that's it. It stops there." Let me see. Oh my goodness. A musical based on my life. And what's the question? Who would write it?
What would it be called, and who would you want to write the music? I mean, you could say you.
Oh, Lord. I need some time with that. That's a really tough question.
Yeah, you can ruminate with that one.
Yeah, can I leave? Can I leave that? That's
You'll have to come back tomorrow.
That's a question for I need a couple of years.
Couple years
about
to
that.
dive
I'm so
into
sorry.
Next year.
That's a disappointing answer.
David wants to know, in what ways does performing inform your songwriting and vice versa?
Performing okay.
In what ways does doing the show,
yeah,
inform your songwriting?
You know
and
what?
vice versa?
It's the vulnerability of it. It's interesting because Carole was always terrified to sing in public,
right.
and I'm terrified to play the piano in public,
or
I have been for many years, and so I've been getting over that, which is a big thing. There's a lot of bravery that goes into my writing and everything I'm doing lately, because I have to be so brave as her, like in relationships, on the deck, with my colleagues, with the audience, with myself. I think it takes a lot of bravery to be vulnerable every day. I mean, in what we do and how we relate to each other. So I think I'm just being a lot truer to myself and bolder in my everyday, which I'm very grateful for.
I love that.
Thank you, Carole King.
Chelsea, I think that's how you pronounce that. How do you feel representing the Canadian Maritimes on Broadway? She's from Nova Scotia.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I love it. I love it. It's funny because I feel like I'm from a lot of places. I was an army brat, so growing up I lived, England, Australia, all over Canada, and then eventually in my adult life I came to live in the U.S. So I feel like I don't know, sometimes I feel like I had people coming from Australia there that are like, "Oh, Melbourne, Geelong College represents." And I was like, who knew I would be representing Australia? Woohoo!
Add it to the list.
It feels great.
Sarah wants to know, if you could be a part of another show on Broadway right now, which show would it be and which part?
That's so hard. That's so hard.
I do think we should have a Broadway role swap every once in a while.
Every once in a while, just one night.
Yeah, why not?
Goodness me.
On Halloween, something around that time.
Sure.
Right? Oh my gosh, help me.
Julie Jordan?
Oh, of course. That's a no.
But we can't just do all the Jessie Mueller roles.
No, that's right. I didn't think of that. But she was like, legit singer.
No, but it's true. But that's a great one. No, and I love that role, and I love that production. P.S. I saw it, and I was bawling my eyes out.
There's so many. You could be Anastasia.
Anastasia would be amazing.
You could be Roxy Hart. Who knows?
Yeah, all those.
Gosh. Angels in America? I mean, come on. I mean, we're not I know that's not a musical, but...
No, that counts.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter,
Are you
right?
kidding me? Anything to do with Harry Potter, I want to be involved.
I think you should be Harry Potter.
Yeah, that works.
Please, with the glasses.
What's your favorite Carole King song? Elise wants to know.
Oh, it varies. Will You Love Me Tomorrow is sometimes my favorite. Natural Woman is sometimes my favorite. There are so many.
It's endless.
Oh, you know what? Smackwater Jack. It's not in the show, but I love it.
Deep cut.
I used to be in car trips with my parents and listening to Smackwater Jack, and I was like, who wrote this? I didn't know until.
And here you are. Amazing. Someone said Eliza and My Fair Lady.
Oh my gosh,
that's a good one too.
Yes, very good. That's an
we're just
excellent
gonna
one.
have a rotation. I think it's fair.
I'm into that. I think
it'll work out. Everyone will understand.
What inspired you to be a performer?
Oh, it's everything I've ever wanted to do.
From the very beginning?
From the very beginning. So this is so cheesy, but my mom always says that when I was in her belly that she would play guitar and I would rest to feel the vibrations of the music, and then I came out singing and dancing.
Way back.
So, I mean, even when I was 4 years old, they said, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to be in the movies, on Broadway, everything." I was dancing, I just wanted to do it all.
Is your son into performing?
He is. He knows lines. He can do accents. He does his British accent. And his dad's an actor too. So I mean, he is. I feel like there's no chance. He wants to be a veterinarian.
Great.
And he wants to be an actor.
How many times has he seen? He's seen the show. He's seen the show.
He has. He's seen most of it. He didn't see some of the more dramatic bits because I felt like he was a bit young for that. But he loves it. All he wants to do is get on stage and play the piano and sing with the microphone. He's in a band. He plays his guitar. He's unbelievable.
School of Rock. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh!
I think
I should take him.
Yeah, we
you know,
can
I
do
took him
that.
to see Aladdin. That's one thing I did take him to see as well. He loved it.
It's magical, of course.
George wants to know any favorite memories from Jesus Christ Superstar, and you said that you had seen Paul in Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone asked if you had seen Paul in anything.
Oh yes,
since, so
yes, I
was-
did. Yeah, and funny enough, Tessa Alves and Jen Rios are in that too. And we've all sort of been like, we were in West Side Story together years ago. Anyway, geez, my favorite part of
just
Jesus
a memory,
Christ
a favorite memory from doing.
Superstar.
Chilinas
You know what? I
Superstar.
have to say, I loved our entrance. I loved. We had like a little, like one of those treadmills.
Yeah.
You know, and there was like this magical moment. And at Stratford, it was actually space. We were walking through the space and entering into the space. But on Broadway, it was a treadmill. But I loved that the three of us were like entering as like three companions, and then the doors open, and we're like, bam, bam, bam. That was just so. I was like, this is it, man.
You're like,
This
I'm
is
on
what I've been
Broadway.
living for. I'm on the Broadway.
We're gonna have to wrap it up, Matt.
Yeah, these
so
are all
give us
these are all like these
so
are
many
all
good questions.
I have
questions you've
so many,
answered.
and I could answer
Oh, they keep
them
on
like
asking the same
8,000
question.
times too.
Yeah, these are all questions you've answered. So
Okay.
some-
Well, there
Chilina.
was also. Oh, sorry. Yes. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, go on,
No,
go
no,
on.
no. No, there's also we had a couple of really great dancers and I mean we had a lot of great dancers and acrobats in Jesus Christ Superstar. But the Simonia brothers, Jason, oh my God, Julius, they are incredible. And there were some moments where the brothers would come and do these flips and like high five each other, and they were just so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, can we please teach me acro? Like I want to be able to do that. That is so cool. That was another
every
moment.
time
I'm
I
watching
think
them.
I want to learn acro. Then I'm like, actually, like, do I really want to do that? Like, do I really want to put my
No,
body through that?
Oh my God, I don't
No.
either. But seeing them do
Yeah,
stuff
you're
like
like-
that, I'm like,
I
that's
think
where-
watching it is a great thing.
right.
Doing it sounds terrifying.
Wow, you have a point.
Just
You
for
made an
me
excellent
personally.
point.
me too.
But, you know, Chilina, you could stay here all day. We love being with you.
Thank you. I could
so
stay here all day
much.
too and chat with you. Thank you.
Guys, go see Beautiful. You have to. If you
a
haven't
good
already,
If
show.
you
go
haven't
back.
already, I mean, you
But, I
gotta
mean, you
go.
need to
But
go
go
back.
back.
It's
Go
a
back.
good show. It's a really good show.
It's a great show.
There's a well-oiled machine over there.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
with a great score. Matt,
Yes.
take us out of here on Tony Num Day.
Y'all know the deal. We do this live every single weekday at 5 p.m. here on Broadway.com's Facebook page. Goes out on YouTube, on Broadway.com, on our TV apps, all the things. And it comes out as a podcast. So if you're a podcast person, you can subscribe to the Live at 5 podcast wherever you get your podcast. Join us tomorrow. Oh, I already know who it is. Join us tomorrow. Reeve Carney is coming. He's coming from out of town. Hang out with us live in the studio. That'll be Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Have a great one, everybody. We'll see you then. Bye.